Today, we are breaking down one of the most competitive, high-demand migration pathways in the world right now, how to get a work visa for Australia from anywhere on the planet. And I want you to understand something from the beginning. This is not a random process. This is not luck. And this is definitely not about simply sending applications and waiting. Australia has built a structured, skilled migration system that rewards preparation, experience, and strategy. And if you understand how it actually works, your chances increase dramatically. So stay with this all the way through because I'm going to walk you through the full process, step by step, in a way that actually makes sense in the real world. Let's start with the big picture. Australia does not have just one work visa. It has multiple pathways depending on your skills, occupation, employer, and long-term goals. But most applicants fall into three main directions. First is employer-sponsored work visas. Second is skilled independent or points-based migration. Third is regional or state-sponsored pathways. And your success depends on choosing the right one for your profile instead of randomly applying everywhere. Now, let's go deeper. The most common entry route for workers is employer sponsorship. This is where an Australian employer hires you because they cannot find enough local workers. But here's the key reality. Not every employer can sponsor you, and not every job qualifies. Australia maintains strict rules around sponsorship to ensure foreign workers are only hired when genuinely needed. So your first challenge is not applying for jobs. Your first challenge is targeting the right employers in the right industries. Now let's talk about what jobs are actually in demand. Australia has consistent shortages in multiple sectors. Healthcare is one of the strongest. Nurses, aged care workers, disability support workers, and allied health professionals. Construction is another major area. Electricians, plumbers, carpenters, welders, and site workers are heavily needed. Engineering continues to be strong. Civil, mechanical, and electrical engineers are in demand across infrastructure projects. IT is another major pathway. Cybersecurity specialists, software developers, cloud engineers, and data professionals are consistently sought after. Then you have trades, logistics, agriculture, and hospitality. Truck drivers, chefs, farm workers, and hotel staff continue to be important in regional and urban areas. But here's the truth most people miss. Demand alone is not enough. You must match your occupation to official skilled lists and employer needs. Now let's talk about the system itself. Australia uses a structured points-based framework for many skilled visas. Your age, experience, education, English ability, and occupation all contribute to your eligibility. But points alone do not guarantee a visa. They simply determine whether you can enter the selection pool. Now let's break the process into simple stages so you can actually follow it. Stage 1 is assessing your occupation and eligibility. Stage 2 is preparing your skills, documents, and English requirements. Stage 3 is submitting an expression of interest or applying for sponsorship. Stage 4 is receiving an invitation or job offer. Stage 5 is applying for the visa itself. Now let's talk about the employer-sponsored route first. This is one of the most straightforward ways to enter Australia if you have experience, but it requires something critical, a real job offer from a compliant employer. And this is where many applicants fail. They apply to hundreds of companies without understanding whether those companies actually sponsor overseas workers, or they apply to roles that do not qualify for sponsorship at all. So strategy matters more than volume. Now let's talk about CVs. Australian employers expect clarity, structure, and relevance. They do not want long, confusing resumes. They want direct proof of skills and experience. Your CV should clearly show your job title, years of experience, key responsibilities, achievements, certifications, and technical skills. And it must match the job description closely. If there is no alignment, your application is ignored. Now, let's talk about something extremely important: English ability. Australia places strong emphasis on communication skills. Even in technical roles, you must demonstrate the ability to communicate clearly in workplace environments. This is not just a test requirement, it is a real workplace expectation. Now let's move to the skilled independent route. This is for people who do not have a job offer but have strong qualifications and experience. Here, the system evaluates your profile through a points test. Age plays a role, experience plays a role, education plays a role. English ability plays a major role, and occupation demand plays a major role. The higher your score, the better your chances of receiving an invitation. But again, Competition is strong, so you need a strong profile, not just minimum eligibility. Now let's talk about regional migration. This is one of the most powerful but underestimated pathways. Australia actively encourages migrants to move to regional areas where labor shortages are more severe, and in many cases, regional visas offer more flexibility and better chances of approval. Because employers in regional areas struggle more to find local workers, so they are more open to international applicants. This is a major advantage if you are flexible about location. Now let's talk about documentation. This is where many applications fail silently. Incorrect job letters, missing payslips, inconsistent employment history, weak references, or unclear qualifications. Everything must be accurate and consistent. Because Australian authorities verify information carefully, and even small inconsistencies can cause delays or refusals. Now let's talk about something people underestimate: timing. Australia's migration system changes regularly based on labor needs. Some occupations become more in demand, others get restricted. Some visa categories open and close based on quotas and policy adjustments. So relying on outdated information is a major risk. Now let's talk about job search strategy. The biggest mistake people make is applying randomly across job portals. A better strategy is targeting employers who already hire international workers or operate in shortage industries. Construction companies, healthcare providers, engineering firms, regional employers. These are far more likely to consider overseas candidates. Now let's talk about interviews. Australian employers value confidence, clarity, and practical thinking. They want to see how you solve problems, not just what you studied. So your interview answers should be structured, simple, and experience-based, not memorized, not overly complex, just real and clear. Now let's talk about salary expectations. Australia has fair market wages and employers must comply with national standards for sponsored workers, but salaries vary significantly by industry, location, and experience. So understanding your market value is important before applying. Now let's talk about a critical mistake. Many applicants think getting a job offer is the end goal. It is not. It is only the beginning of your migration process. Because after the job offer, visa requirements still need to be met, and documentation still needs to be approved, and timelines still need to be managed carefully. Now let's talk about family migration. Many work visas allow pathways for partners and dependents depending on visa type and conditions. But this must be planned properly from the beginning, because family inclusion affects financial planning, accommodation, and long-term settlement strategy. Now let's talk about cost. You need to be financially prepared before applying. Visa fees, skills assessments, medical checks, police clearances, English tests, flights, initial accommodation, living expenses. Australia is a high-cost country in major cities, so planning is not optional. Now let's talk about a hidden advantage. Australia values experience highly. In many cases, practical work experience can be more valuable than academic qualifications alone, especially in trades and technical industries. So if you have hands-on experience, you are already in a stronger position than you think. Now let's talk about mindset. Successful applicants do not rush. They prepare. They improve their skills. They upgrade their English. They refine their CV. They target the right employers. And they stay consistent over time. Now let's talk about something very important: scams. Fake job offers exist. Fake sponsorship promises exist. And fake migration agents exist. A real employer does not guarantee outcomes before assessing your profile. And a real process does not require unreasonable upfront payments for job promises. Always verify before committing. Now let's talk about strategy. If you are serious about Australia, you need a clear plan, not random applications. Pick a direction: employer-sponsored pathway, skilled independent pathway, regional pathway, or occupation-based migration strategy. Focus creates results. Confusion delays everything. Now let's talk about long-term thinking. Australia is not just about getting in, it is about what happens after you arrive. Work experience, skill growth, career development, and potential pathways toward permanent residency. The strongest migrants always think beyond the first visa. Now let's bring everything together. Australia is one of the most opportunity-rich countries for skilled migration, but it is also highly structured and competitive, which means success depends on preparation, not luck. If you understand your occupation, Build a strong profile, target the right employers, prepare your documents properly, and stay consistent. Your chances increase significantly. And here is the final truth. Thousands of people still successfully migrate to Australia every year through work visas, but they do not arrive there by accident. They arrive there through strategy. So if Australia is your goal, start building your profile today, because the global competition for skilled migration is only increasing, and those who prepare early always move first. Because one honest and well-prepared application is far more powerful than a thick folder full of random paperwork, and you have come to the right place to get all your visa applications sorted in a hassle-free and professional manner. Make sure to get in touch with us on our WhatsApp mobile number +64 2217 86007, no matter which part of the world you are in, and do subscribe. Like and share this video with anyone who you think may find it helpful, and stay tuned for many more interesting updates. Thank you for watching.